Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current, cultural, and social issues through a clinical lens. All right. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time. And so today we're going to continue the episodes we call lies. So listen, folks, what I'm going to tell you, don't just believe me to believe me. I know what I'm saying and I'm telling you the truth, but do your own work. Whether that's the last episode that we did on anxiety or this one, which is going to be on ADHD, do your own work. And the truth is, there's a lot of different opinions out there. And there's facts. There's realities that exist whether we like it or not. And I'm trying to look directly at the facts and say, extrapolate from facts to understand the whole big picture. So if you're bothered by it, good. Like in the sense that when we're bothered by stuff, it helps us learn and grow and get better. If you're angry about it, you might want to check yourself. There might be a reason back there that you've got that going on, because I'm not telling you stuff that's not true. And you still have the responsibility to double check my work. It's your life. I don't have to live your life and you don't have to live mine. But where they overlap, we want to make sure we're seeing things the same. We're very, very similar, at least. All right. Tip of the day. I hope some of you have ADHD and you choose not to medicate. That's a bold statement, don't you think? I hope, I'm a mental health provider. This is what I do for a living. And I hope some of you have ADHD and you choose not to medicate. Today, I'm going to make the case as to why. The lie that you are told is that you are the problem if you don't fix your ADHD. That's false. That's assuming too many things. Number one, it's assuming that ADHD is bad. Not always. Okay. It's also assuming that you are broken. Probably not. A very few people that I would say that come into my office and do real therapy are actually broken. Very few people are broken. Now, many of them think they're broken because the world has been telling them, oh, you got ADHD, you can't sit still, you're the problem. Not necessarily. Okay. I'm going to make the case like this. Let's rewind. Let's go backwards in time. We're going to go back to 1900. So let's take a look at 1900. That's, pre the Industrial Revolution, or the beginnings of it, right? We've got our first cars starting to show up on the scene. There's factories are not really a thing yet, but they're about to be. We function as an agricultural world. The idea is to raise cattle and have meat, or go hunting and have meat. It's gathering. It's going to be, we have farms, we have ranches. We are in an agricultural world. Let me ask you something. How much do you think you know about ADHD? That's a good question, I think. That's a good starting spot, at least. Because in order to understand the lie that you are broken, that you're the problem because you can't sit still, you have to put it in context of 2025 versus 1900. You might be like, why would we do that? That's silly. In 1900, if you had ADHD, one of the major side effects of ADHD is an immense amount of energy. We'll put that in context. Rewinding the clock to 1900, who were going to be the people who promoted on any ranch and any farm. Everybody that had ADHD, they were far more likely to run the place. Why would you say that, Jeremiah? That's a good question. Why would I say that? Because I'm a mental health provider and I'm looking at reality, not the lies, and saying, what's reality? If the side effect is high energy and you have 8 hours of daylight, how much productivity can I get out of somebody with ADHD if they're busy with their hands on the farm, on the ranch? I could get more productivity, which means they're more likely to promote, to elevate their status, to be sought after as husbands or wives because they're more productive. But when you fast forward to 2025 and the rule of thumb is you're going to sit in a classroom from the time you're in kindergarten until the time you graduate high school at minimum, well, then it's a dysfunction. But is it? Is it actually a dysfunction? I would say it's still not a dysfunction. It's still an asset. Why would I say, my hope is that some of you with ADHD will not medicate? Well, when you get into the nuances of ADHD and symptomology, you start to learn some things about it. Like, you might ask a question is, why is there a higher prevalence of people with ADHD working in the emergency room? Which is true. This is true information. Significantly higher rates of ADHD in the emergency room. But the question is why? The ADHD brain, when it goes through the same training as the non-ADHD brain, in an emergency situation, the ADHD brain slows down. It's more methodical. The emotions actually get easier to manage in the chaos. Weird. But I'll tell you what, if something really bad happened to me and I'm rushed to the emergency room, I sure hope there's somebody with ADHD there who is more methodical, who with the same training as another person will just do it slightly more efficiently. Better. Now, their handwriting might suck. Most people with ADHD have terrible handwriting. That's another side effect. Those fine motor skills at the fingertips are just not there. But you put them in an ER situation, a surgery situation, and guess what? They're surprisingly good. So when you look at attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, you got to look at it in its context. Maybe, just maybe, the thing that's broken isn't the person with ADHD, but the system that tries to manage the person with ADHD in the exact same way as it manages everybody else. Maybe a little bit more hands-on activities. Maybe more routine breaks. Watch it. It doesn't have to be more time out of learning. It just has to be more readily available. So for instance, if you go to class, if you say the average kid could sit in class for 60 minutes, but the ADHD kid can only sit in class for 20 minutes, but then you give them a 2-minute outside the class task and they're ready to go another 20 minutes. And so it goes. Same amount of break time, broken up differently. Now, the problem with that is that would be an interference for all the docile, non-ADHD people. So maybe there's different models for different things. Anybody think about that? But no, it's so much easier to just blame the energetic kids as if they are the problem and then medicate them, trying to medicate out the ADHD symptoms. And then we reduce the quality by accident, but we reduce the quality of our emergency room treatment. That sucks for you and me and everybody else if we're in an emergency. Folks, there's a lot of lies, and I am super, super excited about doing this series on lies, because there is stuff like this that you're just not being told. Again, my hope is that you will like, subscribe, and share this, not to make me famous. I don't give a crap about that. I want to help people. At Healthy Perspectives, that's what we're trying to do. Share this with somebody who needs this information. Some kid who's been told they have ADHD and they are the problem. Share it with them. No, you're not. You are not the problem. You're going to have to navigate this. People with ADHD have more lists. They have to try to keep track of them. So what? You can overcome those things because you are not the problem that they've been telling that you are. You're just not. Get this word out there. Let's help people who have ADHD understand that they are gifts. They are gifts to the rest of us. They're not a problem. They're only a problem to the teachers who want to try to wrangle them and keep them seated. They are not a problem in our society. Oh, by the way, side note, just real quick before I let you go. That same energy that was there in the 1900s, it's there in 2025 also, which means if a person with ADHD learns to manage it within the current model and system, they're still probably going to be more effective than the average person. Think about that, folks. I hope this was helpful. Please, again, like, subscribe, share it with everybody who might need it and benefit from it. And we'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.